This is Mr. Ben, back with another edition of Know Your History. Now, I work at the Logan branch of the Gloucester County Library System, but Mullica Hill is our main library, and the Mullica Hill branch is located in Harrison Township. Now, did you know that Harrison Township is named for this man, William Henry Harrison? Now, William Henry Harrison was our 9th president, and he has the distinction of having served the shortest term of any president in history, just 1 month. But let me start at the beginning. William Henry Harrison was born in 1773, and he was born on a plantation in Virginia along the James River. And he wanted to be a soldier when he was very young, but his father, of course, disapproved. So he sent him to a medical school when he was older, and he was learning to be a physician in Philadelphia when his father died. Now, with the old man out of the picture, William Henry Harrison became a soldier. Now, he fought with this man, General Mad Anthony Wayne, at the Battle of Fallen Timbers in 1794. August of 1794. Now, this was an important battle because a coalition of Native American forces were defeated by Anthony Wayne, and that opened up the Ohio Territory to settlement. Now, Lieutenant Harrison became governor of the Northwest Territory, which encompassed what is now the states of Ohio and Indiana. And his main nemesis, he was trying to buy up land from the Native Americans, and his main opponent was a famous Shawnee chief, Tecumseh. Now, Tecumseh opposed selling any land, while some Indians sold their land to the whites for white settlement. Tecumseh vehemently opposed it. In fact, he tried to organize a confederacy, a coalition of Native American tribes to fight back. But you see, the tribes are always fighting each other, so it was hard to get them to work together. But that was Tecumseh's dream, to unite all the Native Americans and oppose American settlement. Now, Governor Harrison tried to negotiate with Tecumseh for the sale of Indian lands and what is now Indiana. Well, that didn't go very well. Tecumseh, in fact, called Governor Harrison a liar, and things got so heated at one conference that Tecumseh grabbed his tomahawk, and things looked, was pretty touchy there for a little while. But to his credit, William Henry Harrison kept his cool, and he said, well, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Well, Tecumseh never did agree to sell any land to white settlement to the United States because, as he said, you might as well sell the air or the water or the sky. You know, it's the Great Spirit created it for everybody. But William Henry Harrison wouldn't take no for an answer, so he negotiated with other tribes. He marched his little army to a place in Indiana Territory at the confluence of the Wabash and Tippecanoe rivers, and set up camp, almost daring the Native Americans to attack him. Now, Tecumseh was trying to get allies to fight Harrison, and while he was away, his brother, Tenskwatawa, also known as the Prophet, he was in charge. Now, Tenskwatawa was a holy man or a shaman. He once predicted a solar eclipse. Don't ask me how, but he did, and he was famous for that. He only had one eye, which made him look kind of spooky. The result of an accident with an arrow. Yeah, ouch. But he had a vision that General Harris or Governor Harrison and his army, his little army, would be annihilated by the Indians, and that the Indians would all have they would be protected from the white man's bullets. So he encouraged the Native Americans to attack Harrison, but that was a mistake because the Native Americans were routed by General Harrison at the Battle of Tippecanoe. Of course, Tecumseh was away, and when he got back, he was very upset with his little brother, the prophet, even grabbed him by the hair, and was extremely upset because now the Americans claimed that territory and it opened it up for further settlement. Now, for Governor Harrison, the War of 1812, the Battle of Tippecanoe was in 1811, and then came the War of 1812. And Governor Harrison became General Harrison, and he fought the British in Canada at a place, at a battle called the Battle of the Thames River. And he fought the British and their Native American allies, one of whom was Tecumseh, and Tecumseh was killed at this Battle of the Thames. Interestingly enough, his body was never recovered. No one knows where Tecumseh is buried to this day. But for General Harrison, he rode his fame. They called him Old Tippecanoe, and now with this battle under his belt, he became a politician. Now Ohio became a state, and William Henry Harrison became a member of the House of Representatives representing Ohio, and then he became a senator. He was elected senator. He was a Whig of the Whig Party, and then he became ambassador to Colombia. And then when Andrew Jackson, a Democrat, became president, well, he was out of a job. But somebody had the idea that said, and they said, well, you know, General Harrison would make a pretty good president, I think. So in 1840, he ran for president against this man, the incumbent, President Martin Van Buren. Now, Martin Van Buren was a New Yorker. He was an intellectual, sophisticated, and his campaign managers thought, well, you don't want to vote for Harrison, General Harrison. Well, he's, you know, a rube. He's from the frontier. He lives in a log cabin and drinks hard cider. Well, that was a mistake because that kind of appealed to the people. Because after all, a man who drinks hard cider you can trust. He was a man of the people. He lived in a log cabin. And so General Harrison ran on the campaign of log cabin and hard cider. And there he's depicted at his log cabin. Of course, he didn't actually live in a log cabin. His house really looked more like this, a 16-room mansion at North Bend, Ohio, overlooking the Ohio River. But, as they say, never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Also, because of his military victories, Old Tippecanoe, they had a great slogan. You got to have a great slogan if you're running for president. And his was Tippecanoe and Tyler too. Now this is Tyler, John Tyler, who would be President Harrison's vice president. John Tyler of a Virginian. Now when Harrison was elected president, our 9th president, there was plenty of hard cider to go around. And he had the distinction of being the oldest president ever elected. William Henry Harrison was 68, and he would retain that distinction until this man was elected president in 1981. That's Ronald Reagan. And Reagan was 69 when he was elected president. He beat Harrison by 1 year. Now, when Inauguration Day came, it was cold, it was wet, and the president, William Henry Harrison, gave an inauguration speech that lasted 2 hours. 2 hours. And as he was talking, you know, it got hot. At least he got hot. And he took off his top coat and his hat, and he stood bareheaded in the rain. And he caught a cold, a heavy cold, that developed into pneumonia. Now the doctors, they treated him with the best medical knowledge that could be had at the time. They bled him and they cupped him. That's when they take hot cups and they put it on your chest, on your skin, and raise these blisters. Whatever good that was supposed to do, I don't know. But it didn't help. And President Harrison died on April 4th, 1841, just 1 month into his term of office. So that was a pretty sad ending for President William Henry Harrison. We'll never know how good of a president he could have been. And this is his photograph of his monument at North Bend, Ohio, where he's buried. Now, that's about all I have to tell you today. So now you know why Harrison Township is named Harrison Township. So I hope to see you next time for Know Your History. Meanwhile, I think I'll have some cider. So cheers. We'll see you.